Welcome to FCC Supporter Square, the show for fans, by fans, and about fans. Here's your host, Mark Suffin and Matt Warman.
Well, hello, everybody. I always say that it's a special episode. Every episode is a special episode, but this is a really special episode. Um, as you know, I love fans. I am a fan, but this fan is a very interesting fan. You always want to know, I like to say, fans need to be heard. This person has a harder time hearing being heard. So that's why this is special. My guest today is Paul Thiergartner. He is deaf. That's why you'll see someone signing if you're seeing this. Um, and so there'll be a little bit of pause. So if you're hearing this on audio, you might hear some quiet before an answer comes in. So Paul will not be answering, but his translator, Sharon, will be answering for him. So I think this is going to be super cool. So let's get started. How are we doing, Paul?
Hi, Matt. I'm doing really well. I want to thank you for letting me on this podcast. It's really an honor to be here, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, good, because I don't think there's a lot of deaf people on podcasts. So I'm hoping this isn't the first because you need your own voice, but I'm certainly the first in this genre.
For sports, I believe it might be over time, there may be more, but I've noticed that mostly it's Facebook. There are a lot of deaf people on podcasts on Facebook. They call them vlogs instead of podcasts. It's a vlog, video log, signing on the podcast or the vlog. But I don't use Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know very well.
You're not old enough.
Actually, I left Facebook because I wanted to focus on school during college time. And then later I realized I'm better off without it. So I never went back.
You're not missing much. So we are at the
I know.
halfway point of our season. Second place, 1 point behind the leader. How do you think the team is doing so well so far? How are your feelings?
After we lost two key players. We lost Baril, and after we lost Brandon, I thought, those were two of our key players. When they were gone, I didn't think that we were going to be successful, but apparently we still are. We're still doing well. And especially we got Yedlin. I don't know if the interpreter is pronouncing that
No,
correctly, but
that's correct.
I've heard a lot of good things.
It's been a slow process.
And Lucho was getting frustrated. I know that Lucho was getting frustrated, but it'll work out later.
I think that's the way it was. With new people, it takes time. And you can tell in some of those early games that things were not gelling, things were out of sorts. But as we've been playing and as we've been working together as a team, I think this team is more dangerous than last year's team. What do you think?
Describe dangerous, because I see that our scoring, we do seem to struggle with scoring a bit, and not as much. It wasn't like that last year, but we do get new players. We have Kelsey, and I think that should be very helpful for us. Kelsey is very helpful, but Boop won't be playing for a while.
He may be playing.
Also,
Yeah, go ahead.
2 years, for the past 2 years, I'm always telling myself to trust Pat over the past 2 years. I don't know.
Yes. Pat is the coach, Pat Noonan. Yes, he is. He is something special. Um, yeah, Kelsey, we've only had him for a few games, but he's already scored like 3 or 4 goals. I think this 2 week time off will really put the offense in a higher gear.
Yes, but I'm concerned about the League Cup. That's my concern. I don't think that it's very important because we can cause more injuries that way, and we don't have one moment for the interpreter. We don't have a deep squad. So with as many injuries as we have, so if we have another injury, where's our backup? So I don't know. I'm
We do have
hopeful
some
that they
backup.
don't take it
Oh,
too seriously for the League Cup.
I don't think we're worried about the League Cup this year. Which leads me into the next question for you. If you don't think we're deep, is what position would you upgrade for the summer window?
Well, I would have to say Cam, because if Lucho is out, who's going to lead? Also, we definitely need defense too. And if Obi or if Bucha aren't playing, then who will be playing? And I know that I know that we have Kubo, I know, but I'd rather he stay as a forward because he's good in that role. So I don't know.
So this is just for you, interpreter. See, Cam is central attacking midfielder, and so that's I'm trying to tell you what he's trying to say. So that's super cool. Yeah, we don't have a backup for Buka, but it's going to be hard to find a good backup for Lucho since he is the heart of the team. Uh, I don't have any problems with that. I think we do need a backup for both Obi and Lucho. But if we could get a really good striker, I would live with this defense.
Yes, I always try to tell myself that what we need a backup for Lucho. I've been thinking that because it happened twice last year when we versed Miami. And it also happened to when Lucho was off, he was struggling, and we lost to Messi and also against the Crew. Lucho was exhausted because he couldn't even run anymore. He needed to sit.
That
The
is
Crew already had fresh legs off the bench, so they already had those two come in. So that's when I knew we would be losing. We need to be able to have fresh legs. For example, Santos. Santos is good.
so. What do you think of Pinto?
Mm, he's good, but I don't think that he's ready.
So they say that see, Buka could play backup for Lucho, but who would play backup for Buka?
Kubo,
Yeah, for a couple of games.
yeah. Well, it won't hurt him. Like I said, I trust Pat
Yes,
because
go
there
ahead.
were a few games ago. It was a few games ago that Kubo, he did play left back or something like that. And I was like, that's not even his position, but I was surprised that he played well. Pat knows what he's doing.
I think Kubo could play keeper.
Definitely. Hopefully we'll get some good players this summer. And that's the key for moving forward.
So, one last general team question. Who is your favorite player and why?
I am in general the old team or current team.
Either one. Which is your one of each?
Okay. I would say that from 2018, of course, Ledesma. He was the one reason that I started being interested in FCC in the first place. I really enjoyed watching him. And he works really hard. He never gave up. And 2019 was our worst year. And he didn't even give up then. He kept going. He kept working at it. And if he came back, I think that he'd still be helpful to the team for a good while. I always loved him. And for our current team, Matt, he's a hothead. He's very aggressive and very vocal leader as well. And I like that about him.
He knows what that means.
Exactly. That's one of my, I always think that when I think of Matt, how he played last year against the Crew, we probably, if he had played last year against Crew, we probably would have won the cup.
I agree.
Yeah.
So let's get into how you became an FCC fan. So you live in Philadelphia, correct?
I do. Yes. I born and raised in Philly. And the funny thing is, I never watched soccer growing up. I loved baseball. And I would say around 2010, 2011, maybe Beckham. Well, Beckham joined 2009, but I didn't follow in 2009. So 2011, I started following him and I started enjoying soccer, but what team, And then I found out that they had a Philadelphia Union team. And I've been trying to go there, but my parents always warned me that it was in a bad area. And the funny thing is, they weren't even playing in Philly. They were in Chester. I don't know why they were called the Philadelphia Union, but that's beside the point. I went there. I didn't go there, but I started watching Real Madrid. And because of Ronaldo, I started watching Real Madrid because he's awesome. And I was watching then, and then I found out that they had their rival, which was Valencia. They would be coming for a friendly match against FCC. That was in the same week that I happened to be visiting family in Ohio. I have family that live in Cincinnati. So I thought, why not stop by and grab the game and see Valencia? I went to see Valencia, but I ended up falling in love with FCC. The first thing that impressed me was the fans. They stood the entire time, jumped, sang. I can't even hear what they're saying, but I could feel the vibrations. And it felt great. It felt really cool. And after that night, I still wasn't really satisfied. I wanted more. So the following year, I came back again, and they were versing Tampa Bay Rowdies. And I came for that game, and we won 2-0. And that's where it really started.
Well, welcome to the family. So
yes, I'm happy to be a member.
You will need to do a sign chant and teach it to us.
I could think about that. Yeah, let me think about that.
So when you see the Bailey, how do you get the vibe, for lack of a better word?
It's funny because when I go for example, I go to a Phillies game, I sit there and I watch the game and I feel nothing. Most of the people, I can hear, they hear music or there's some kind of action going on, but I don't feel anything. Whenever I go to an FCC game, it's completely different. There's actual vibration and it's almost like an earthquake. The fans are so into it. And FCC, they really do sing, jump, dance, and I'm deaf, but I can hear it. I can hear the noise. And it's super cool.
Wow, that is that's kind of blowing my mind a little bit because we do it for fun and we want to bring the noise to everybody, but we're glad that we can bring it to you as well.
Yeah, it's funny because when I went to the FCC game, my parents had asked me where I sat, and I said, of course, I sat in the Bailey. I wanted to feel it, the fun of the game, and experience it that way.
And I'm sure you brought the noise in your own way.
Oh, I tried.
So that leads me to my next question. Um, Being deaf, how does it affect positively or negatively or both how you enjoy the game?
I am not really sure if there's a negative or a positive. I just watch the game and I enjoy the game. I enjoy the vibrations. The negative thing, I guess it's a good thing I don't have to hear the other teams yelling. So that's a good thing.
That came in handy
Uh,
in 2019.
Absolutely. I remember that in 2018, it was the USL playoffs against Nashville, and the Bailey was all at Nashville's goal was right there, and the Bailey, they were all in front of it. Most of the people were cursing, screaming, yelling at Nashville. And I had asked Colin, I said, what are they doing? What are they yelling? Because they always yell over us. So I didn't know that. And they were yelling over them. And they got back. So I guess I missed a good thing.
Well, so how did you find us in the brigade?
It's funny because in 2018, after I posted a video for Ledesma and for Deckel, I had a video that I had posted, and Bailey Bastards, the Bailey Bastards had sent me, they got in touch with me and asked me to stop by so that they could give me a pint. And I thought, well, I told them I'm only 20. They said, that's fine. We'll give you water then. And I said, okay, fine. So in the playoffs, so the USL playoffs versus Nashville, I did stop by, and the president, Colin, he came up to me and he led me through, introduced me to the fans, and they welcomed me with open arms. I did not expect that at all. I felt like I already had a family. It was like a familial relationship. I went in the March. I had such a great time. I really enjoyed it and been in love with it ever since. And I'm grateful to Colin for that.
We are always so excited to have you here. I'm hoping that you enjoyed your time at Sam Adams, our new home. Do you like that better than Taft's?
I like both. I enjoy both. I would rather be at Taft's, to be honest. Their food was really great. I really like their food.
Well, sadly, they went away. Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to make sure I'm trying to figure out all my questions. I've run through all of our for our viewers at home. We tried to send some questions because we weren't sure how long this would take with translating. But we've gone through all the questions. So when will you come to Cincinnati next?
Hopefully I can come soon. I have a lot of vacations planned coming up. More likely it'll probably be in the fall, but definitely I want to come to the MLS Cup, of course.
That will definitely be here.
Yes, definitely.
Uh, so do you go to the Union game and do you have supporters coming to Philly with you, or do you hang with them?
I'm the only one that goes. I have not gone to the Union games I never went to a Union game until after 2017 when I saw FCC. And then I guess it was 2018 or 19, I went to the Philadelphia Union just to see if they had a similar, actually it was 2018, to see if they had a similar vibe there as FCC. And it was not, it was flat. It was completely plain. It was not like FCC at all.
My guess is after this podcast, you may get a bunch of requests when Cincinnati goes to Philly.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, sometimes when they come to Philly, I would rather stand with the Cincinnati supporters because when you sit with the Philadelphia people, it's just so quiet. I don't know. But when FCC supporters are there, they're standing. It's not, maybe we're not as loud and there's no vibration, but there's jumping, there's standing, and it's really nice to see the support. In 2022, the playoffs against Philly, I went with the supporters and it was great. I went with the FCC supporters. We had a good time.
Yeah, that's the only place to sit is in the away section.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
So, do you know when they play in Philly this year? Because maybe we can set something up and have you join us.
Yes, I believe that it's in October or September, somewhere around there. I'm not sure exactly. But I have a friend who's from the Philadelphia Union and always tells me, you find a seat somewhere in the away section, you go ahead and go sit where you're going to sit.
Well, that's where all the fun is.
Exactly.
Who wants to be
I wouldn't miss out. I told him he's missing out on a lot.
Who wants to be a Union fan? We took the best part of them.
We did, you're right.
We got Albright and Noonan.
Right, exactly. Philadelphia Union had, their motto is ride or die. And I think it's the lamest thing ever that I've ever seen.
We don't have to say that. We just do it.
Right, right.
We don't need a slogan. That's how we live. The best fans in the planet.
It sounds like they're trying to, the Philadelphia Union is begging to join in. I don't know.
So, one last question before we sign off. If you could get any one player that's currently playing to play for FC Cincinnati, who would that be?
I already mentioned Ledesma, but I don't know if he matches our style right now. Probably, I doubt that he does. But I would like to have Ronaldo, honestly. We need a striker. We do.
Okay. Ronaldo's a little old. I figured you'd go with Mbappe.
I can't say the name. The interpreter can't say the name, but he's too expensive.
Well, that's why I said any one player. The money is no object.
Oh. I'd like Cruz, honestly. I think that he always likes to, he orchestrates the game. And when he's there, every game I've watched him in, it's always fun. He has this, he's 6 steps ahead. He's always ready. And I would like to see that for FCC. I watch him and he knows what's coming. He knows what's ahead and he plays a beautiful game. And I think that, honestly, I would like to have Cruz. I know that he's retired, but maybe he'll change his mind.
Well, very good. So did you know Ledesma is playing in the soccer tournament in North Carolina? He
Yes.
scored 3 goals.
Yes. I wanted to visit North Carolina, but I had to work. I wasn't able to. It started at 8:30 in the morning or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're playing right now.
Oh yeah, you're right. 7:15.
So we'll have to cut this off and go visit the game and have a
Yes.
cold water.
Definitely. Again, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I really enjoyed talking with you. And if you want to see me again in the future, I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Just let us know when you're coming, because you are always welcome at Sam's. You're always like, well, you always are a member of the brigade. So stop by anytime.
Of course, I will. Thank you so much.
Well, that's all the time we have here at FCC Supporter Square. Sadly, Mark couldn't make it. He was a little under the weather. Otherwise, I know he would be here and asking questions as well. But we'll see you next week here on FCC Supporter Square.
Thank you for listening to FCC Supporter Square. Your hosts are Mark Shupin and Matt Warner. If you'd like to be a guest, please contact us at fcc.supp.square@gmail.com. The intro song was Living Inside My Brain by the Stone Bunnies. The exit song was Awesome Sauce, also by the Stone Bunnies. Thank you for listening.